Hello everybody, how are you today? Welcome to our live for podcast for He Vibes, She Dives. I am host Timber.
And I'm Drasmin.
Welcome. Today our live we're talking about duality and harmony. So far we've done, our original video was a year ago, and then we recently just both posted our solos. And now we're doing the live before we start the next topic coming up. So, duality and harmony is the topic.
Yeah, duality, balance, and harmony. And what a time to be diving into this conversation again together.
Seriously. Because I honestly feel like I am struggling and not doing a good job at all of finding harmony within, while the world isn't finding harmony. Like everything is just, it's so much right now, on a personal level and on a collective level.
Yeah, I would mirror and agree with your sentiments. You know, harmony has definitely been challenging. In fact, over the last few days, I've been meditating deeply on harmony, considering life and the life, and I stumbled upon an acronym for harmony that I'll share, that I'm still working on, but would love to perhaps get your insight and bring it out into the collective, raw and unfiltered.
Is this yours or did you?
Oh yeah. All my
figured.
acronyms are mine for the information of YouTube and everybody out there. We are all original humans. Get a knife, cut me, I'll bleed.
You're not an AI program.
Not an AI program, and all of my writing, all of our works, creative, written, oracular, are original.
Heck yeah. So what you got?
You want to dive into the acronym, or do you want to?
Well, I'm curious. We'll save that one.
You want to save the acronym?
When you're ready to drop it.
I mean, I'm ready whenever, but you know, it's just interesting that you started with harmony, because that's been an acronym that I've kind of been secretly hoarding. Especially because I knew we had this live coming up.
Right.
Yeah. But we can dive into it. You feel that that's a good kickoff point?
I feel like it is.
So, harmony. Before I go into the acronym for harmony that has been coming through to me, I want to highlight something that came up in our duo episode. And we were talking about the difference between balance and harmony, and how you use harmony more to find balance. And it provided me a shift in perspective that I didn't have prior to that. Before to that conversation with you, balance and harmony felt connected, yet not interconnected.
Yeah, almost like they're cousins.
Yeah.
Or siblings, more than they are identical.
Twins.
Yeah.
But they're not identical twins, right? Like even twins who are identical are not identical. That's what is so amazing about bodies and souls and evolution. And you've spoken to how, well, I would love for you to speak into that real quick. I would love for you to just kind of recap for the audience balance and harmony from your lens.
Yes. Because I've always viewed, like, growing up, whenever I heard balance, it was always like, it felt like this, like it had to be scales. They had to be 50-50. And so to me, there was no gray area. There was no room for movement. It was either you're imbalanced or you weren't. There was no ands, ifs, or buts. Where harmony, to me, feels like there's more grace, there's more flow, there's more room for it to move and breathe and expand. You know, because it's like an ebb and flow between all of them. There's my lion roar. My lion agrees, everyone. Let me just turn this off real quick. So yeah, so like so to me, it just balance always felt like it's so solid. Whereas like, and is all in or all not.
Mm-hmm.
There was no give.
Mm-hmm.
So in harmony to me it was just like, and to me balance feels like it's something that's unattainable a lot of times, depending on what it is. Not everything, but like if I'm measuring food, I can find that. But like certain things in life, there just isn't always balance. Relationships, work, the world around us, all the things. So harmony just feels like there's more play, more movement, more connection, with the possibility of expanding or shrinking, light, dark. I just feel like there's more movement.
So when you talk about movement and light and dark and balance, how do you find harmony in your duality? How do you weave harmony into balance in your everyday life? Or do you just completely discard balance and focus on harmony?
I use balance where I feel it's appropriate, but otherwise, like you've helped me teach me this, is learning to befriend my demons. So it's taken harmony for me within, as far as the light and dark aspects, to a deeper level. Because before it was just more like my shadow work and my internal stuff of the light and the dark, what I'm working through. But now you bring in that into it, it's deepening that. So again, I don't find balance, but there's more harmony. It gave me another way to expand deeper into it.
For me, I would say that duality is what presents an experience, because we live in earth consciousness. And then balance is the optimized place of that experience. And harmony is finding the cohesion within and without to arrive at that optimal place of balance that duality is presenting. And from that lens of everything is duality and balance is a neutral state of being, harmony came to me as HARMONY. Healthy awareness. Awareness of the experience, awareness of the situation, awareness of whatever might be occurring and transpiring that is creating imbalance, that is creating misharmony. So healthy awareness and RN recalibrates memory. That's where I've been sitting with that, right? Healthy awareness recalibrates memory and then optimizes neutral you.
Wow.
So when we're in a point of healthy awareness, our memories can be recalibrated back to truth over illusion. Because if we're in a distorted lens, and I spoke in my solo topic of how you can find harmony through problems, and I broke down the word problems. Everything starts with perception, right? And sometimes we might be perceiving something to be imbalanced and out of harmony when in fact it is, but it's our inner temple that's misaligned, or vice versa. So healthy awareness recalibrates our memory, recalibrates how we are processing, recalibrates how we are translating an experience that becomes now a memory. Because everything we are experiencing is a memory, whether we can access it or not, whether we recall it or not. So if that healthy awareness recalibrates the memory, and then once we're in that clear space, then we are able to optimize that neutrality, that state of balance, that place of synthesis. So, a bit of a rough acronym, but what are your thoughts on that?
I really like that actually, and it always amazes me how you do that in the first place. I've never met anybody that can do it like you do, and so it's just like, but how you broke it down and how it all aligns with it, that makes. I'd have to sit with it for a while, but like it it aligns.
It seems to click, right?
It does.
And the irony that I'm facing is that I'm having a hard time finding harmony with the acronym for harmony. Like, optimizes neutral U. That O and Y was tricky, right? Like, optimizing neutral U. But if you think about it, it's when we are in a state of neutrality. And this is where the wordplay can become tricky, right? So let's view neutrality as a place of steadiness for the sake of this conversation, for the sake of this topic, right? Let's look at neutrality as a place of steadiness. When we're in a place of steadiness, we're able to respond, overreact. We're able to think clearly and choose wisely over be cluttered in our thoughts, right? The memory is off, the recalibration hasn't happened, the systems are cross-firing there because we're triggered, something's coming up, you name it, humaning happens, right? And then we can optimize our experience, our circumstance from that steady place of awareness and choice.
I really like that, and I feel like that'd be a really good one to have written out so people can like just look at it and really sit with that, because it really does break it down in ways that it's like all it's different compartmentalization.
Yeah, compartmentalization
Thank you.
of,
So it's just like you expand the word and then you break it down, and but it just expands it even more.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then you can keep going if you really wanted to, and I'm sure you would and could. But it's a good start with that, because it really does. Like I said, it also allows you to perceive the word itself differently, and to use it more as a guide, a tool for more of the inner work.
I mean, that is ultimately what language is. It is a tool that allows us to expand our way of engaging and experiencing the world. It is because of language that we have been able to expand as a human consciousness, because we have been able to communicate using language. Now, there is a lot of language in today's world that is not harmonious.
Yeah.
And I definitely have a whole acronym Bible happening in my drives. So yeah, I really look at, as a neurolinguistic and a quantum seer, I look at not only how we use words, but how words and language create the quantum weave, the grid, shall we say, that we all occupy. And I never quite considered the word harmony until you came into my life, Timber. But it's always just been there, that's kind of assumed. But I don't feel like harmony is just an assumption or something that we can trust will happen without our conscious efforting.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I would agree with that, because it's like I have mentioned harmony to a lot of people, and almost every single person, it throws them off, and they have to think about that. And then they're like, "What do you mean?" And I explain my perspective between the two. It's still something like it's a mix. Like half of them are like, "Okay, whatever," and then half of them are just like, "Holy cow! Oh yeah, that expands it. I can see the difference." So it's always interesting.
The difference between curiosity and EGO people being curious and open, or saying, okay, whatever, being closed off. Continue.
Yeah, so it's just... It's always been an interesting way of approaching it, especially in the spiritual community. I've been surprised, even bringing that up in the spiritual community, how many people are like, what? Because there's so much balance. It's kind of like, the word release is so commonly used in the circles. you know, is more so than actually let go.
Release, and we talked about that in one of my previous episodes. I
Yeah.
recall your aha moment.
Yeah, and I'm still working on
Over
changing that in my vocabulary.
444 days later.
Because it's still so much in the collective. And same thing with balance. And it's just like, I feel like so many people have been told certain ways of thinking that it's just like, if you're not in balance, then you're not in balance. And your life is a mess. And I disagree with that. You know, my life's already a mess, but I feel like with the harmony, I have room to move and I can breathe and expand into that. And balance just feels so boom.
Yeah, balance is like, I feel like the structure and the law of life. Like everything is already and almost always in a state of balance. And when it's not, it lets you know.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like the Zen perspective of like, nothing is perfect, but yet everything is perfect. So it's like harmony reminds me of that a lot too. Nothing is in harmony, but yet everything is in harmony.
Yeah, I struggle a little bit with that second line, but I hear
Maybe
where you're.
I need to work on that. But
I hear where you're going with that thread.
Yeah, I have to sit with. That just came out, but like it needs work.
No, that's great.
It's a
you
sketch.
know,
It's a verbal sketch.
It's a verbal sketch, which is great. You know, and this is part of the conversation, the living conversation between us and the audience who's here today. Of what? Let's go a little deeper into balance and harmony, especially with collective right now. There has been because let's start with that spiritual community, okay? The spiritual community is one of the most imbalanced groups of people I have ever met in my life. Almost as bad as the Christians. That's saying something. Because there's almost like this separation of thought, of consciousness, this disassociation to personal responsibility. And I feel that's what harmony does. It makes you realize that you are personally responsible for the balance in your life. The balance can exist, but that doesn't necessarily mean that your life is in tip-top shape.
Right.
There might be an equal amount of giving and receiving, but that doesn't mean that there's harmony in your life. How many times, and this reminds me of a conversation I had with my physical therapist today, and I've heard this before, where people who have money, people who have resources, they are seemingly successful and they have it all. But life's hard. Because there's no harmony between their success and their authenticity.
And a lot of them live in fear of losing it all.
Exactly.
More so than thriving.
So let's expand on that, Timber, because I feel like this is a timely topic to have right now of how the imbalance in the world, the disassociation, is now reflective in global affairs with everything.
Like you told me just the other day, you saw that literally there's fires.
Fires all over
The whole
Europe,
world's on.
fires all over India, fires all over North America, right? And the animals have been showing up more and more in the last couple of years and preventing wildfires, restoring habitat. You know, like scientists have talked about climate awareness for many years.
For a long time.
But people are paying attention now because it's personal.
Yeah, when it, like, as you
When it
said,
hurts.
when it affects them.
And I remember talking on an episode with you where I was like, people pay attention before it gets personal.
Yeah, that's true. So what direction would you like to go with this?
So
There's so much right
then please take us in.
now. I mean, you have between what our president is doing
Yeah, another.
and the fact that like you start to see more people rise and start to see through the lies and the deceit finally.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, it's interesting because like you said, it's like sometimes they're making it so bad that it's forcing people to be out of their comfort zones, out of their harmony, out of their happy places.
Yeah. Duality woke up and chose violence.
And you know, we've both heard all the stories, all the things for so many years that now is the time for the shifts, the new earth, the new collective, the new consciousness. But as any of us know, you can't fully clean a room unless you really dismantle and move things around, and like sometimes you have to move everything out and completely undo everything before you can move back in and bring in new life and new energy. And so like literally that's what's happening in the collective.
Absolutely.
And so it's just been, I have personally, I could feel it, and so I haven't been paying as much attention because I could feel it. And I'm just doing my best to not participate, give more of my fear, my anger into it, but just hold visions of a better place. While I'm watching, what country is that where they're on day like 60 protests?
Oh, Albania.
Albania. You know, so it's just like, but you know, they're showing the world
How it's done.
how it's done, and that we need to stand up. And you know, the funny thing is that people don't realize how much their freedoms are almost extinct at this point. AI destroying books, like
Surveillance everywhere.
They're surveillance everywhere. They're undoing the national freaking parks. Like, things are being dismantled, not in a good way, for one, and not with honor. So there's no harmony in what's going on around us,
Well, there's no harmony because everything is out of balance.
and has been.
And has been out of balance for hundreds and thousands of years.
So you know, that's where we start seeing the earth changes, and because Mama Gaia she'll take care of herself the way she needs to, and
Oh yeah.
there's no one that can stop her from doing what she needs to do. Literally,
OJ Ma.
like literally,
OJ Ma.
just ask the dinosaurs and our ancestors from like before the flood,
Yeah.
and the time before that. We're like on the fourth cycle of beings occupying the planet, which
I think it's a sixth actually.
or sixth,
Sixth
yeah.
or seventh, yeah.
Yeah, we're way out. But anyway, my point is that there's so much going on that it's like you stand back and observe it from Hawk perspective, you can totally easily see how out of harmony we are in all the ways of being human. Pretty much from our food, our travels, our consciousness, like our leaders, everything.
Our inner circles.
Inner circles, like things like you and me both been hearing and seeing so many breakups and just hardships. A lot of people going through really hard things right now.
A lot of truth is coming out. Relationship, anything that is built on falsities will crumble. Anything that is built on mistruth and illusion will crumble. And this United States of America, which I call the United States of Indigenous, because that's the world that I'm visualizing. Thank you for bringing that into my field with, you know, those alternative comic book artists.
Of course.
Just like was founded on slavery and rape
Genocide.
and genocide.
Straight genocide.
There's no United States of America. There never has been. It has just been a big illusion. And you know, I moved to this I moved to this country 22 years ago. I escaped to this country 22 years ago from India. And I've been told countless times over the years, go back to your home country. I would love to, but it's not safe there for me. And now, it's not safe in this country either.
No?
And I'm a US born citizen.
Like, legitly.
You've literally seen me come home and cry from what I've been experiencing and witnessing out there. And I am pretty hardy. I've experienced things, I've seen things, but what I'm experiencing is just wrong.
In so many
It's
ways.
so wrong. And there's not enough people talking about it. And there's too many people focused on shopping and consumerism and having a good time, which, please, by all means, have a good time. But at the same time, like, this is our world.
So part of being in harmony with it is being a good steward.
To the earth.
Like, we really need to take care of our mama. Like, humans are so filthy, and not all are lazy. A lot of them are doing really good work. A lot of them are doing everything they live and breathe, doing what they can to help mama guide.
And we have to recognize that, you know, a lot of this is generational.
Totally.
Right? So we're talking about not just like what's going on, but like what's going on. And a lot of people don't want to look down there. They're comfortable in their lives. They are settled in their experiences. They've got their husband who's paying all the bills, even if they're unhappy about it. They've got their yachts and boats, and there's been so much propaganda to normalize materialistic existence,
And
superficial being.
yeah, and then we just have to keep pushing, push, grind. That it's okay that a single person now has to have 3 jobs just to pay rent for a 1 studio room apartment and eat. Are you serious?
Even Social Security disability does not pay out enough to cover current housing costs.
Not at all.
Forget personal costs and the extra costs that an alter-abled person, a disabled person needs. I moved to the USA because from what I had heard and been told, it was a land of freedom and opportunity. 22 years later, where are the freedoms? Where are the opportunities? I'm still being met with racism and sexism and hostility. And as you said at the beginning of our conversation, you know, it's been a real challenge to stay steady in the maelstrom of chaos that is being revealed, that has to be revealed. The infestation has to be cleared out. The distortion has to be removed.
Gotta clean the infection.
Yeah, we
And
gotta.
sometimes it does not feel good.
We gotta. To clean the infection, you gotta gouge out the pus. That shit's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Anybody ever had an infected blackhead?
Anyone ever have half a toe cut off that they have to keep getting cleaned?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, no thank you.
If you've ever gone through any kind of medical procedure that requires a lot of care afterwards, like bandages and therapy and all of that, healing does not happen overnight. And my work focuses on nervous system sovereignty because our nervous systems are the literal energetic structure that allows us to experience life. Otherwise, we're just in disassociation. If we don't have a relationship with our nervous system and anchor that sovereignty within, then you're just living in disassociation. You're just living in absentia. You're just going through the motions.
Right. And it goes hand in hand with initiation, or not initiation, integration.
Talk more about that.
Well, as I listen you talk about that, it's just like as we're working on our nervous system, remaining steady. Because I've been working really hard this whole year at remaining steady, and this year has just been challenging in every direction I could think of.
Really providing opportunities for you to strengthen that.
I chose the wrong word. So, but finding harmony in that has been challenging. But like,
chose the right word for this year.
but it feels like it's just constant integration.
I mean, that's what life is. The highest expression of sovereignty is embodiment.
Embodiment, yeah.
And this is why I'm calling out these spiritual communities, these Christian communities, these religious communities. Like, where is your embodiment? Where is your stewardship?
Yeah.
Where is your care? If you're going to quote scripture at me and say, oh, well, the Bible says, love God with all your heart. Well, God loved the world so much that he gave his only son. How would you think he would think that of how you're treating the world that he loved so much that he literally sacrificed his own son?
Yeah.
Come on.
And to make him a martyr on top of it.
And then you make him a martyr.
And just throw images of him in pain and tortured everywhere.
We talked a lot more about Yeshua in season 1, series 1. So I invite you to go check that out if you haven't. But
ironically, I drew this is Yeshua.
That's an amazing drawing of Yeshua. You want to take it a little closer?
I was trying to draw Michael Franti, and it turned into Master Yeshua. But my point is, like, I see him full of life, deep, contemplative, a man that does what he can to find the harmony.
And he was not all love and light, people.
No, he was a rebel. And the thing is, yes, in the fact of one of the things I feel like we need to invite more of our spiritual community in also is to embrace the rebel, the sacred rebel.
Please.
It's
right now, more than ever.
And it's more just like being so rebellious that you're just so authentically you.
Thank you. Rebellion is not about saying, fuck all of this and let it all burn, which, okay, if it does, it does. Rebellion is about?
Within. It's like,
what did you just say?
Oh, being your authentic self.
Yes.
Because being your authentic self is an act of rebellion only because we are so out of harmony. If we were in harmony, everyone would be in their authentic selves. Because it would be welcomed, it would be embraced, it would be embodied.
Yeah. An act of rebellion could look like dancing in a church. I know a sister who just went to the Vatican and she almost got kicked out for dancing inside the Vatican, and she looked at the guard and she said, well, David danced before the Lord and he was pleased. Try throwing scripture at me. And I just fucking love that.
But that's being rebelling in a way of using our wits,
yes,
our hearts,
yes,
and not bowing down. Because the thing is, it's part of what's going to be hard is we're going to have very uncomfortable conversations, very uncomfortable situations.
They're already happening.
But so a lot of people that are like very much like, no, peace and love is the only way, they're in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
Even in our own community.
And as we are recording this transmission live, we just had Saturn go into retrograde. So karma is here for the next few months to reveal where you are still bypassing personal responsibility. And it's hitting in a hard way.
And it hits deeper and deeper. I'm going through things presently where things I thought I healed within myself about my dad, the demons are still there. It's a deeper layer.
We cannot escape duality. We cannot escape the darkness. And this is the problem with the spiritual communities that I was a part of for over a decade, and I realized, like, this is just another fucking cult. Myopically focused on, like, the good. But the human experience is also not good sometimes.
No.
It's messy, it's death, it's cuts and burns and bad breakups, and your children die before you, and how do you navigate life?
Our day to day as humans is so stressful, no matter what and who you are and do for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, there will be something to test us. You can have the perfect life and something will still test you somehow.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, and this is, let's bring this back into harmony. We've been talking a lot about like collective decluttering that's happening right now. We've been talking a lot about what we've been experiencing personally in our lives because we are a part of collective, right? So let's bring harmony back into it, and I would love for you to share, how have you been finding harmony and hope to continue going even as you're continuously met with the resistance of a dying world, or rather a dying timeline?
Honestly, try to figure out how honest I want to be right now. Because there's a huge part of me that's just like, fuck it, I'm done. Let it all destroy itself. We're the disease on the planet. And then there's the other part of me that's just like, no. We need to step up. We need to be stewards. We need to be helping our brothers and our sisters. We need to help shift everything. So it's like, again, I have my own duality of voices where it's like, part of me is just like over it. And and not only that, but I have a hard time seeing a way to make it better, because when I keep hearing we need to trust other humans to make the change, and then I just go out to a grocery store and it's hard to find good humans all around, or kind humans anymore. Everyone's so like overwhelmed, or everyone's so just, no one knows how to deal with what is happening.
Because our nervous systems are just so bombarded with information. And now with the surveillance cams, it brings up that fear response in the body. Like, I've noticed it within myself.
So,
and I'm not a criminal,
right?
As far as I know.
Yeah. So I've been really having a hard time remaining steady. Because part of me wants to go to war. And part of me wants to go hermit and just disappear. And then part of me is like, no, we need to do our part to do the best we can to make this world a better place, as much as I can personally do. So it's just like, but in order to do that, I have my mom, I have my son, I got you, I have a small tribe of humans that remind me of why I choose that third part. Not the hermit, not the war, but do the best I can to be a good human.
Be present.
So it's just like, it's been a very, it's been really challenging. While reality around me is just, it's just like
reorienting itself.
And I feel like that terminology of like they use about the whole like diamonds, like what's that?
Diamond in the rough.
Diamond in the rough, but like it needs to be like worked before it's like the perfect.
You're under divine pressure.
Yes, and I am not okay with it. I am very not okay with it, but I'm doing the best I can to find harmony in any part of my day that I can. And some days I don't. Lately, I haven't. But it doesn't mean I don't still work on attempting. And I would like to hear what your perspective on that.
Yeah, it's mirroring you, and like how deep do I want to share online? Because you know me, Timber, I tend to be very private. You've seen me in a lot of ways that most humans will never see. I want to answer your question, and I also want to expand on something you said, because this is also a message for collective I feel that needs to come through. So I'll start by answering your question, and it's difficult is not a strong enough word. Everything that I have gone through in my life, none of it has been enough to prepare me for what we're going through now. And that is saying something.
Yeah.
Because I have experienced things that horror filmmakers will pay big money to make a movie out of. Don't reach out to me asking.
Seriously.
And actually, this ties really well into what I wanted to expand on with yourself. You know, you're asking me, like, how do I navigate myself? Well, something that has always helped me in the past to maintain harmony within and to stay steady is in service to humanity. I thrive in devotional leadership. I thrive in creating spaces that people can come into and just breathe and just exhale and just feel. Maybe for the first time. Maybe, you know, like you did. You know, you felt your body in a way you've never felt before. I did the cacao experience. You know? And it took years before I was able to open my community center. And then I took a risk that ended poorly. I'll just say that. And I have not had a space to show up in community, to have sisters gather, to have my women around me. And honestly, how I have been recalibrating back to my center for months is to literally just cry. Just cry and feel, allowing myself to just feel myself, allowing myself to feel the grief of humanity, allowing myself to feel the grief of the earth. I just allow myself to not take it on per se, because that's not healthy. I don't advocate for that at all. But as a highly sensitive empath, I am even more susceptible to the feelings of the earth. And so I've just been letting it hit me in service to collective humanity, because I don't have the spaces right now. And not for lack of effort. You've witnessed me reach out to all these places that have shut their doors on me because the color of my skin, and because I speak and stand in integrity, and I do not allow appropriation and bypassing in my presence.
And you experienced that even in your sister's circles.
Oh yes,
I was shocked.
I did not see that coming, and I will be speaking more into the sisterhood circles that I was invited into that are full of distortion. So I've been feeling thin, shall we say. I've been feeling thin, and it's made me retreat inwards in self-preservation. But you were talking about how you're at this duality of looking at, I want to go to war and I want to shut down empowerment. And I have been feeling that energy of shut down empowerment, right? And that's that isolation program that they have done a bang-up job of pumping into collective, where that feels like the only two options. Either raw sledgehammer, burn the shit motherfuckers down, or fuck this, who cares, I'm out. That's what they want. And the practice is choice, just as you choose. I choose to find a point of beauty, at least one, every single day. And let that be my light at the end of the tunnel, to get me out of that place where I just feel so thin. I feel so heavy. My heart, it hurts. If I'm not tending to humans, now I have the space to tend to the earth. But it's been lonely in the sense of there's no response. There's no feedback.
True.
Like I would get with humans, not that I would expect or I'm asking, but there's a different kind of engagement that happens with humans in a room versus an invisible audience. I still show up. You've seen me show up and continue my devotionals, continue my practices. Sick as a dog, I'll still go and sit and find beauty in the sunset. And continuing to create. That's the other medicine. And we dove into that a few weeks ago and launched our art and tarot offering, which is amazing, by the way, people. Check it out. And creating some kind of beauty, finding a way to tap into my creativity is what has been helping me stay in the eye of the storm. It has not been easy, and it has been extremely painful. And that brings me into the second part of what I wanted to share. So, that somewhat answers the question, perhaps not. Perhaps that supports, anyone in the audience listening and asking, like, how do I get through this moment? Well, you might just need to cry it out.
Take a salt bath.
Take a salt bath.
One handful for every foot tall you are.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And, that takes me into this other part of the conversation where when I moved to the US at the age of 15, I escaped a nightmare that is still happening. And I was manipulated into behaving as expected under threat of my brother and my son's life. And I wasn't in a position to speak my truth until they passed away a few years ago. And I lived, my body developed, my nervous system developed in a survival, fear, hyper surveillance state of mind.
How could it not?
What?
How could it not?
Right. And then I did all of this work to clear, recenter, harmonize, find steadiness, find peace. I get there. Woohoo! We are gonna move forward in life now. Open the soul salon. Create community space. Give people the teachings that I have learned through literal fire to reclaim safety in their body. And now all the cams are up. And I can feel that energy that I lived with for over 2 decades of my life collectively. And it makes me angry, and it makes me want to shut down, and it makes me want to just look at the sum totality of my life, and I look back on my life and I'm like, all I see are mostly graveyards and ghosts. And I did all this motherfucking work for what?
Yeah, while they're using. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mirror you in that sentiment of like, I'm fucking pissed. We need to stop putting more concrete down into the earth. We need to stop destroying ecosystems and natural habitats. Instead, all the funds, all our resources are going to war, to more separation, to more isolation, to greed, to just ignorant stupidity instead of food forests and land to the indigenous elders who know how to take care of the land because they are the original people of this land.
Which is why they destroyed the food forest and destroyed the original people.
Yes, exactly. So like that's part of their program is isolation. They make it so uncomfortable where you feel like your only choices are war or isolation. So I choose, bringing this back to answering your question, to stay connected. To stay connected to my heart, to stay connected to my body, to stay connected with the current affairs of humanity and the higher vision that I continue to anchor and hold. Because ultimately, it all boils down to free will. And we can make a conscious choice to recognize the illusions for what they are and say, I'm not going to choose that, I'm going to choose truth. And that might make me look like a rebel, that might make me look like an outcast, that might get me labeled as a rainbow sheep. Pile it on.
Right. But that's the beauty of your authenticity and your superpower. Which is what a lot of my solo video was about, is that. Because they can't take your authenticity away.
Yeah, they can't. They cannot
No
take your authenticity away. They can tell you to not sing in the churches, and they can tell you to not dance on the holy grounds. First of all, the earth belongs to everyone. They can tell you, to dress a certain way and talk a certain way and buy this and think that and say that. They can tell you all these things. But ultimately, are you going to choose to accept that?
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing. This awakening, this healthy awareness, this harmonized awakening that's happening in the planet of, wait a minute, wait.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right.
Yeah. But then it's just like, but everyone is also so comfortable, even though they're not comfortable.
Because they have created the systems to create isolation. Oh, single unit homes, single apartments stacked next to each other. You're literally like living on top of your neighbor, but you'll never know what your neighbor's name is.
Yeah.
It's this fucked up distortion that has created this illusion that we are all in this together, but we're literally at war within ourselves. And then we go to religious spaces, spiritual centers, and they're all peace and love, and it might feel good. Why? Because it's hitting dopamine. We are all so collectively, majorly elevated in cortisol that when we get that dopamine hit, it feels like a relief. And we start confusing instant or temporary relief as a lifestyle. And I got sucked into that trap for a while. I did.
Yeah.
How can you not? It's awesome. It's yummy. It's, oh my gosh, my people. It just feels good to just lay here naked in the sun and eat berries and just have a great old time. And the earth is burning down, but whatever. We've got our communities and we've got our gardens. Let me tell you something. I have traveled to a lot of these intentional communities. There's a very little harmony in there. In fact, one of my jobs for a few years was to go into these intentional communities and develop systems of communication, manage projects, and teach them how to have harmony in intentional communities.
Interesting.
I don't do that anymore because I just don't have any right now.
That's fair. That's fair.
So how do we conclude? How do we start wrapping up? How do we stay in that steady, that harmony, that neutral you, that steady you?
I would go with the fact of there's duality of obviously working on yourself. Like, it's essential. Doing your own work. But it's also being open and willing to, how could I do something different outside of myself? You know, like you were saying, like, I've been learning a lot more working with Mama Gaia, and most days I prefer working with Mama Gaia than humans.
Yeah.
Even though it's, like you said, I don't get the feedback back.
Yeah, the feedback loop.
But at the same time, it's like, I feel like I'm being more productive, and it's actually being received, and there's more gratitude than working with humans. Not all. I mean, there's a lot of humans that are very, very grateful. Don't get me wrong. It's just. So my thing is, what I'm going for is, do what you need to do to find harmony in yourself. You know, work on your mind, body, and spirit. You know, your food. Are you moving? How are you moving your body? What does your circles look like? Do you have a strong circle? Do you not have any circles? If not, do you go to therapy? Do you do what you need to do for yourself? For yourself. And I'm not saying go and just march and be on the front lines and all the things, but, you know, as I'm learning from you, a simple share on social media, or signing a petition, or just speaking up and having the hard conversations with other people.
How are you integrating in daily life your conscious choices? It's not enough to make one toilet paper made of bamboo purchase once and say, oh, I'm an eco-warrior. How are you integrating in everyday life? How are you embodying your values?
Yeah.
How are you standing in your integrity and being the solution? Because at this point, you're either the problem or the solution.
Yeah.
Fight me on that.
And not only that, you know, but like, be willing to find your courage to do what's right. To stand up. I just read a thing from a good soul sister of mine in Lake Havasu, and she had an incident where this man who's known in the town is a homeless man, who's a big man, crazy, yelling, and he gets all in people's faces and stuff, and the cops just watch. And she was in a situation where he started walking and yelling at her, and she's like, I looked over and I saw multiple cars full of men, and they didn't do anything. They didn't get. She's like, where are the men at? Where are our protectors? So there's like a lot of things. It's just like we're being called to step up in a new way. You know, like for me, it's just like I'm very warrior energy, but the times of picking up in past lives swords and weapons and going to battle and war, it's requiring something different now. You know, and it's just like, and now I'm learning how to be a heart-led warrior and use my heart, my words, my creativity, my authentic being. How can I show up and be a difference? And sometimes, and I'll tell you what, everybody, what you don't realize is like when you step in your authenticity of who you really are, and you strip away, you're like, I'm not going to dress like how they want me to look, I'm not doing this and this and this. You are literally shifting the paradigm. You know, like a shaman once told me, it takes one candle to light a dark room. So be a light.
Absolutely. And part of embracing your authenticity includes embracing and accepting that you are going to be the walking trigger and villain in someone else's story.
Oh, yeah.
And you might as well get comfy with that idea now. Because authenticity, or as one of my teachers once said, living your best life is the greatest revenge that you can get. Being your authentic self will either inspire or trigger, which is an awakening, someone else. You are not responsible for the emotional responses of the people around you for your choice to be an authentic version of yourself. Now, this is not saying be an authentic asshole. I'm just saying be an authentic, good human. And see what it does in the world around you.
It's true.
I remember when I started wearing my veil. I'm the first in my lineage of Indian women to embrace the veil again. My mother is a woman of faith, but she has never embraced the veil in the ways that I have. And even my own mother, who is a woman of faith, does not respect that I have chosen to walk the medicine woman way and be a woman of veil.
Should respect a lot of things.
That's her choice. And it was definitely very difficult the first few years, especially working in the medical field, having a veil on. The jokes, the rude comments that I would get, especially from white males. Oh, I see you forgot to get the towel off your head after you showered today. It's just like, looking back, it was not easy the first few years. Stepping into my authenticity. I was engaged. I had a good medical career. I had a 401k. Not that that holds any value currently. I perceived that I knew the direction my life was headed until I chose to be an authentic human being. And I went from being a 10 out of 10 to being a 0 out of 10 in popularity, in acceptability. But at the end of the day, when I lay my head down on a pillow, my soul is at peace, knowing that if I don't wake up tomorrow, I die free.
Because authenticity equals freedom.
Authenticity equals freedom, and your authenticity, your freedom is the greatest threat to illusion. So how do we find harmony in today's world? How do we find harmony in whatever circumstance is presently showing up to expand your capacity of awareness and your capacity to be steady?
Well, also asking questions. Question everything.
Please.
Everything. Like, literally. Like, how do you not go to the grocery store and look at a box and you're like, oh, what ingredients are in this box? And there's like a whole list. How do we not ever think, this is not okay? Like, we shouldn't even have to look to see what's in our foods. It should just all, like, the fact that we pay more for less ingredients that are clean, that's just an example.
Yeah. Yeah, and in the current construct of our world, going organic is the only option left. And even with that, you have to be very mindful of who your organic produce suppliers are.
Yeah.
Because if it's not organic, it's pretty much filled with something that is designed to keep you sick and addicted in some form or another.
So again, ask questions.
Also with your vaccines and your medications and
oh my gosh.
professionals who have gone to school, question what they're prescribing to you and be okay with walking out of your medical appointment if you're not being met. I've had to do that a few times this year, and I'm over here striving to get disability. And how many times I've been told, well, this is the best you're gonna get. I'm like, I refuse to accept that. When I had my hearing before the judge, he was like, why don't you take medications? I flat out told him I refuse to take any synthetics that disrupt my hormones that I have worked very hard to repair and restore after 20 years of manipulation and abuse. Pin drop silence in the courtroom. You have a voice. And
it's time to use it.
It's time to use it. And the hardest place to use our voice is with ourselves in our inner circles.
In our families.
Our inner circles. So.
But yeah, you know, it's hard. It's not all. This topic isn't full of rainbows and sunshines because of the duality of it.
Because of the duality of
and
it.
because of the reality that we are all currently experiencing.
The darker side of duality. We are experiencing the darkness that has infested and infiltrated our homes, our families.
There's the layers, everybody.
The fact that divorce lawyers are the most like in the top 3 paid vocations in the United States, maybe the world, I'm not really sure. If that doesn't scream help at a humanity level, what is it going to take?
Seriously.
Children forget deserve, they need a healthy, unified home with their parents and their grandparents and their aunts and their uncles coexisting, or, close by, existing in harmony. I mean, as someone who was raised in a fractured home, I have seen the effects within myself and how that continues to affect my healthy relationships today. And you do too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm presently dealing with some things that are so deeply rooted. That's the thing, like I say, layers.
Layers.
Because there's things that you think that you've overcome it and you're good, and then you expand, and there's always roots to everything. So it's like I can feel where I'm at. I'm dealing with some root stuff, like the bottom of the bottom. It's not even mine, but
it's inherited because, hello, we didn't just pop out of the air. We didn't just get dropped off by a stork at the doorstep. We literally were born through pain. We were literally born through pain.
Covered in blood.
Covered in
guts. Pus.
Like, maybe shit. A lot of women shit when they give birth. It's the body's release.
Yeah.
It's not talked about.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. I've delivered lots of babies. So, life does not have to be perfect. And everything doesn't have to be going great for you to find harmony within yourself, which is the lesson that I've been learning over the past year. And I'm so grateful for you, Timber, because you have been teaching me a lot about how to find harmony in complete and total chaos, which is very uncomfortable for me to operate from.
Yeah, I don't do well with it either, but it's learning to be steady in the middle of the tornado. It's been very challenging.
And yet we're here. We're showing up and we're choosing to be present. We may not always be steady, but I'm always present, or as present as I can be in the moment. And if I'm not, take myself out to my room and cry it out, take a shower, take a nap, until I can be present again.
Yeah, if you're like some of us with ADHD that has a really hard time being present, it's like you do what you can, and you be as present as you can. You show up as best as you can. And you just keep working on it. And breathe, everybody, breathe. Get out in nature, connect. And can we please all join together and fight back for our natural forests and
our free land, our ecosystems.
Before the billionaires who don't care about anything take it all over, and we're even more screwed.
Yeah.
Again, duality, everybody.
And please protect your children.
Yes.
Please protect your children. Stop putting your children online. The Musk dude, and I feel that I really want to just voice this. I wasn't going to, but I'm feeling the call to. Musk is suing because the Nudify app, so there's an app apparently that you can install that strips people of their clothing.
What?
So any of your photos that are online can be run through this app, and you're full on naked, or whoever is on there.
That's ridiculous.
And this dude, Musk, is suing because they want to make that app illegal.
Illegal?
Illegal. They want to make the app illegal to protect our children, to protect us online.
So does that mean he has a share in it?
Probably.
Because you gotta look at layers, everybody.
You gotta look at the layers. So I've said this before, and I have gotten into actual fights with people in my inner circle around putting their children online, because I have known this, I have been speaking about this, I have literally watched what they do to children when they have access to them. It's absolutely horrific. Epstein files, just the tip of the iceberg. Please protect your children. Teach them how to think for themselves. Turn off the screen. Make them go outside. Teach them the importance of connecting with nature. Teach them the importance of connecting with their intuition. Teach them the importance of how to steward, how to tend consciously their hearts, their intuitions, their bodies, their home, their environment, their parents. And the way that children learn is by example. So how are you teaching the inner child within you? How are you protecting that inner child within you as we are in this current experience of life that we're in?
It's true, because I mean, like, we're doing everything we can to free ourselves, to be our authentic selves. How beautiful! Like my son, I love my son. He's my best friend, and he is authentic as I am. Like, but I raised him that way.
Correct.
I didn't want him to be shame and guilt for how he looked or what he wanted or he enjoyed. It's just like that again. That's by leading by example.
Yeah, exactly. So develop the harmony within you with awareness, realignment, and conscious action.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah.
Kindness costs nothing. So how can we be kind to ourselves in a moment when we're feeling deeply imbalanced, when we feel the duality pressing in on us, and when everything around us looks hopeless?
Like, for instance, I've been going out of my way, even more so than you know me, I smile and I usually say hi to people everywhere I go. But I've been even more, taking a little bit more time, especially with my colored brothers and sisters, to show them that I am a white man who is not racist, who is not out to get them, who's not out to report them, who's not trying to like use or take advantage of them, but I see them as brothers and sisters.
Yes.
And I take the time to say, how is your heart? How are you? And just connect with them.
Yeah.
And so many of them just look at it throws a lot of them off.
Yeah.
And they're like, whoa. And then but like they laugh and they joke with me and it's just like, but again everybody, that's the part of it. It's just like we're all a big cosmic family. We need to start acting like it.
Absolutely. You know, and on that note of, you know, how you tend to strangers, you know, because we talk a lot about our inner circles, right? But we also need to tend to strangers because we're all family, we're all connected. And it's amusing, some places that I repeat frequently. Recently I arrived there, and just as I'm walking up to the desk, the sister's like, Lady Drasmin, I've got my water, I'm drinking it, and it just warmed my heart, like, thank you for taking care of yourself. And people are like, there's a big line, and I just looked at the line behind me, and I'm like, I just send that energy back at them. I'm like, really? There's one woman here taking care of all you whiny little babies, and she's taking care of herself and drinking water right now. You're gonna complain? But it was really sweet, those imbeciles aside, it was really sweet to witness the shift within her from a few months ago to now. I remember you, and you made an impact, and look, I'm drinking water, and it's simple, and it sounds dumb.
But you ask that everywhere we go, and a lot of people are like, it throws them off. They're like, no, I haven't. We're in Arizona where it's been 112.
And the number of times I'm like, I refuse to receive service until you drink water. And every once in a while, they're like, okay, I'll be back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, thank you. And the people I'm at the table with getting dinner, they're like, dude, we're hungry. What are you doing? I'm like, I don't give a flying fuck if you're hungry. They're humans too. And they're running around taking care of everyone, but who's taking care of them? Do not allow your position in life to diminish your humanity and the fact that we all breathe the same air. We all drink the same water that our ancestors drank. We're all going to die on this earth and be buried in it and eaten by the worms. So whether you have $1 million in the bank or you have 5 cents in your wallet, let's take care of each other. And the only way we can truly take care of each other is how we take care of ourselves.
Well said.
So,
Well said.
on that note, any final closing words of wisdom?
That was perfect. Good.
Thank you everyone for being here today in this conversation on balance, duality, and harmony. It has been quite a topic. And let me know what you think of that acronym. Healthy awareness recalibrates memory and optimizes neutral you. Do we like it? Should I keep working on it? Eventually there will be a sticker.
Yes.
I'm still striving to figure out how to create eco-friendly stickers, and I haven't quite figured it out. So if anybody has leads, give a woman a holla, because, fuck, I don't know.
That's a really good question.
Yeah, a lot of things that I want to put out into the world, I haven't because I don't want to play into the consumeristic market. But now we're getting on a tangent.
Yeah. Okay. Wrapping up. Mahalo, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Much love to everyone.
Let's take a big deep breath in, recenter, remember we are here to love and to be loved.
And that we are stronger shoulder to shoulder than we are against each other. Here's to creating a new earth.
One conscious, kind choice at a time.
Yes. With ease and grace.
Mm.